I'm Sarah, I'm playing Kate.
I'm Michael Latham and I'm playing the role of Jake Russell.
Hi, I'm Jack McLaughlin. I'm the writer, director and co-producer of Kate and Jake.
And thank you all for being here. It means a lot. And as far as I'm concerned, we're all like a family now, so let's just look after each other. There's no hierarchy, there's no fucking energy of you, none of that bollocks. We're all part of one big team, one big family. And it means a lot to be being here, so let's just make the fucking day go down.
Decent.
Kate and Jake, it's about an ex-couple who meet up one last time before one of them takes a job opportunity in Australia. And after they meet up, the pair basically reminisce about the relationship as the film goes back and forth in time to show you what happened and like the eventual outcome of the relationship.
The main message that we're trying to get across is relationships in young people and the impact that can have on their health, especially mentally, whether that being good or bad, and sort of postgraduate stress and the impact that that can have on young people. You know, it's something that's not really mentioned a lot in film, so that's the message that we're trying to get out there as well.
This film is just, from the minute I first read this script, I fell in love with it. The writing, just everything about it, it's so natural. Just the flow of it, it's so relatable to stuff that happens in everyone's life. Like, I don't know whether you call it a tragedy, there's elements of comedy, like romance, it's just a mash of everything in the most perfect balance.
When Jack came to me with this script and like introduced me to the project, the story gripped me like instantly. Thought it was very heartfelt and it felt authentic. And it was quite a unique take on your coming of age love story, and it's something that I think is quite universal in people, like how people can connect with it. So it was a story that I really wanted to be involved with and helping bring it to life. So my job on set is basically keeping everything on schedule, tapping my watch, ticking boxes and making sure we don't run out of budget.
I'm playing Crystal. Crystal is one of the best friends of Kate. She's a bit of a wild child in earlier life, and it seems at the moment she likes to drink and work. She's not a massive fan of Jake, just because she cares so much about Kate and knows everything that they've been through, but she seems like a really good friend.
The thing that makes Jake so relatable is that he's an everyday person. He's just a young lad. He's just a very normal young lad who faces everyday problems that everyday people face, and showing how he overcomes them is really how I've developed his character and the way he handles his challenges and his obstacles.
I love the character so much because she's like, she doesn't take any crap off anyone, to be honest. She's quite opinionated, so she'll just lay it out as it is, which I do myself, so. No, she's just brilliant, to be honest with you. She goes through quite a lot in this film, so I love the fact like you don't really know who to root for by the end of it, which I'm trying not to give anything away because my director will have me head.
I was in my final year of uni and you know, I was thinking about what I was going to do next, and I made short films since I was a kid, so making a feature, like that's what I wanted to do next. And a lot of my favourite directors, when doing the first films, they like done like a story from the art, do you know what I mean? Like personal stuff, but not autobiographical. And so I was like looking at like me and my mates at the time, and like the biggest thing that was happening in our lives was relationships. So like people who've been together for about 5 or 6 years were like splitting up, but they've been together since they were in school and college. So these like really formative years of their lives. And I remember a friend of mine said about they just finished with the partner. They've been together for years. They were like, I've been with this person for that long. I've never known a life where they haven't been in it. And I thought that was like quite powerful. And then yeah, like there hasn't really been like a story like this from Liverpool where it's about 20-year-olds and stuff like that. It's an honest view of like love and heartbreak.
I'm a big sucker for a bit of a love story, and it seems so real. It's not sugar-coated, it's not any kind of like fantasy love story. It's just truthful and it's real, and straight away when I read it I knew I wanted to be involved in it in some ways.
The film as a whole, obviously, when I first got the script I fell in love with it. It was really well written. It made me want to be a part of it. I didn't have my heart set on Ian, but when Jack asked me to audition for it, I was made up, and when he phoned me to tell me he wanted me to play it, it was just, it just baffled me. I was like, are you sure? Have you got the right person? And
Well, what drew me into being involved in this is Jack is an up-and-coming entrepreneur of being a film director, and you can't learn this trade. You have to, your CV is what you do. So the sound gives the sound in, the camera gives the camera in, and it's just to give someone a chance, you know, to get on the ladder, because it is hard to get on the ladder. And when you think of all these big Hollywood blockbusters, you know, we're just normal films, and there's some fabulous films out now, and I was just privileged that he asked me to be involved in it.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked the scene. It was very, after a brief word with Jack midweek, he kind of explained more of like what it was, you know, the intention of the scene was about. It was about like, you know, being show-offy, yeah, just like being quite proud of their own son at the cost and expense of, you know, of other people, to just, you know, lord it over people, or well, not even people, his nephew.
I just really enjoyed that it was a story that was so relatable to so many people, whether or not you've experienced explicitly what happens in the whole story. There's definitely elements of it that people will have experienced that they'll be able to relate to.
I've had such a great time doing this, you know. It's been like one of the best shoots I've been on, and I'm not just saying this for like a behind the scenes thing, but genuinely it's like one of the best things I've done so far. First feature as well, so it's one thing to cross off the list.
So I think what's different about Kate and Jake is it's realistic, and I think that's a lot of what film and cinema's becoming. You used to walk into a cinema and expect escapism, whereas now you want stuff that relates to you and that you can see has happened in life, and I think Kate and Jake is an amazing tale of that.
My job is to essentially logistically run the set, just make sure everyone's keeping up to date, keeping to time, making sure everyone's catered for, and then I've got my team of production runners alongside me that sort of like run here, there and everywhere, making sure everything's keeping pretty shipshape.
My job is to obviously source the costume for every scene and dress the actors while we're on set, make sure that they look a good standard before the filming, and obviously put a lot of thought into the costume. So as you can see, yeah, there's a lot of blues, making sure the costume reflects the characters as time goes on, throwing little subtle hints that you might not pick up.
So like, we've just wrapped the penultimate weekend of filming, so we've got one more weekend, and up to now, and I hate to jinx this, but it's gone amazingly smooth. The crew have been phenomenal. The actors have turned up, they know their lines, they bring creativity to the roles, and everything's just gone really well. You know, every production has its like little bumps and stuff, but in general, like, I couldn't have asked for it to have gone any smoother.
Everyone we've got so far, they're on form. The cast are great. Very lucky to have them. They know the lines, which is boss, so we don't have to worry about anything like that.
That's a wrap on Kate and Jake.
Yeah, I mean, everyone who's on board is just like top of the game and just smashing it, and like proper lucky and blessed to have them all on board.
Yeah, thanks so much everyone, it means a lot. As I've said, we're all like a family and that now. And yeah, fucking hell. Oh, now getting a bit emotional. Yeah, I can't thank you enough for everything, honest to God. From the bottom of my heart, it's a bit of a personal story. And yeah, thanks so much, honestly. Like, yeah, nice one.